Simple interest. Get out your note packet, find this page in there, and fill in the learning target. I can solve problems involving simple interest. Remember, this is a video, so you can pause and rewind as needed. All right, what is simple interest? The definition for simple interest is the amount of money earned or paid for the use of money. So who's going to use your money? If you think about banks, you put your money in the bank and then they can use it to lend it to other people. Okay, but the money's always there for you. They always have to be able to give you your money if you ask for it. But that idea of using, that's who uses your money. Okay, so anybody who has a checking or savings account, you're working with that bank then. There's a formula to calculate simple interest. And that formula is I, which stands for interest, equals capital P, which stands for principal, times lowercase r, which stands for rate, times lowercase t, which stands for time. All right, we've used formulas since our equations unit, so it's a basic plug and chug. Take what you know, plug it in, and then solve for the unknown. Let's do a couple examples. So again, just follow these steps as we go. And these steps are typed into your note packet for you. You're going to write the formula, list the knowns, substitute in for known variables, and then solve for the unknown. All right, Jenny deposits $1,560 into her bank account. The account pays a 25% interest rate. How much will she earn in interest in 3 years? All right, so some things to make note of here. Jenny is depositing $1,560. The account pays a 25% interest rate. And we want to know how much she's going to earn in 3 years. So we've got our formula written. Capital I for interest equals capital P times lowercase r times lowercase t. All right, so now we're going to list our knowns. So what do we know? Depositing into her bank account. Deposit is an action that's for principal. So that would go with capital P. And that word deposit tips you off to that. Interest rate, that's our rate, 25%. And we know from our percents unit that percents need to be changed to decimals before we can do our math with them. So 25% as a decimal is 25/100ths. And then 3 years represents our time. So what are we looking for? We're looking for that interest. How much will she earn? All right, we're going to substitute in. So we don't know I, so that stays I. P is 1,560 times 25/100ths times 3. Grab your calculator, type it out, watch your decimals, and hopefully you get 1,170. So then you would write a sentence. Let me see if I can get to my tool here. Yes. Oop. Still not. There we go. And you would write a sentence that says, Jenny will earn, and then put your dollar sign because we're talking about money, $1,170 in interest over 3 years. Now, one thing I did not mention is time always has to be in years. Oh, look at that. Time always has to be in years. So if time's given to you in something other than years, then we need to convert it to years. Okay? So we listed what we knew, we plugged it in, and in this case, we multiplied all three because we were solving for I. Let's look at another example. Alex borrows $3,600 from the bank for a new car. The interest rate is 6% per year. How much simple interest will Alex pay if he takes 2 years to repay the bank? So sometimes you're borrowing money, and that's why the bank has to use people's money, right? So they have money to lend to people. So again, let's kind of mark the important things here. Borrowing 6,300, excuse me. When you borrow, that's a principal action there. That's the amount that you need to take out. So that's your P. The interest rate is 6% per year. So our rate is 6%. What's 6% as a decimal? Hopefully you said 600ths. You got to move that decimal 2 to the left. And we're wondering how much simple interest Alex will pay if he takes 2 years to repay the bank. So the time we're looking at is 2 years. So again, we're looking for that simple interest. You're not always going to be looking for that, but these first 2 examples are. All right, let's substitute in 6,300 times 600ths times 2. Type it into your calculator, and you should get 756. So what we would say here is Alex will pay 756 in simple interest over 2 years. So what you need to think about here, what this means is Alex is borrowing $6,300 from the bank, but on top of that, Alex is going to have to pay $756 more just to borrow that money. Borrowing money is not free, okay? You have to pay a fee to borrow that money. So the faster you pay it back, the less you'll have to pay. All right, one more example. I think one more. Allie is borrowing $5,000 for a snowmobile. She wants to pay the loan back in 2 years. After 2 years, she will have paid $300 in simple interest. What is the rate of the loan? Okay, let's see what we know here. Allie is borrowing $5,000, and we know borrowing, that's a principal action for a snowmobile. She wants to pay the loan back in 2 years. So the time she's aiming for is 2 years. After 2 years, Allie will have paid $300 in simple interest. So this one gives us the interest she's going to have to pay. We're looking for the rate. What is the rate? This is our question mark. So we're actually going to get a percent for our answer when all is said and done. Let's do it. Substitute in. So this time we do know I. 300 goes where I is. P is 5,000 times, we don't know R, so just put the R there, and T is 2 years. All right. Bring down the 300 and the equal sign. What's 5,000 times 2? Use a calculator or not? Hopefully not. 5 times 2 is 10. And then just put those 3 zeros back on. And 10,000 times R is 10,000 R. This is a one-step equation. We need to divide by the coefficient. What's the coefficient? Hopefully in your head you said 10,000, Mrs. Benoit. Yes, it's 10,000, so we're going to divide both sides by that coefficient. Now be careful here when you put it in your calculator. Remember, NITO, numerator in, denominator out, numerator first. 300 divided by 10,000 gets you 300ths. Okay, now that's a decimal. Remember, our rates are percent, so change that to a percent. Move your decimal 2 to the right. So the interest rate would have to be 3%. The rate of the loan would be 3% to have all this work out for Allie. So you could just write the rate of the loan would be 3%. All right, that's a brief look at simple interest. Bring these notes and let's do some practice.